Fon Quinter begins today's edition of Prime News. In the West region, where a 10-year-old girl has been beaten to death by her father for allegedly stealing the sum of 48,000 francs CFA from home. The perpetrator of the pathetic act is currently under detention at the Gendarmerie Brigade in Fumbot. Get details with Nsah.
Kunjo Blessing, age 10, is a little girl who met her demise caused by her own biological father, 40-year-old Yeto Pele, an internally displaced person from Donga Mantung in the Northwest region, who relocated to Fumbot in the West region of Cameroon with his family residing in the Mbanye neighborhood. As the story goes, the deceased girl, Kunjo Blessing, reportedly stole 40,000 francs CFA from home and started spending lavishly in school on candies and other stuff. Her father, Yeto Pele, who has 8 children, including a set of twins, explained.
I had the money from a meeting that I took. I kept that money in the house. This my little girl. There was a day I went to go and remove some money to go and use. I saw that there's 20,000 that I was missing in the money. When I asked my wife said that she's not the one who's taking the money. I wanted to make problem with my wife. So people told me that I should allow it like that. I allow it. I give the remaining money to my wife to keep it herself. My wife kept the money. She wanted to go and make her birth certificate. She went there to take another money to go and make the birth certificate. When she go where the money is found, she did not find 30,000 inside the money.
Earlier on, the girl's mother said she found 10,000 francs on her, and when asked where the rest of the money was, Blessing said she gave it to her friends in school, but the said friends denied the allegations and rather insisted that the girl spent the money all by herself. Her father narrates.
My wife called me, I was in the town. My wife called me that I should come very fast. When I reached the house, my wife told me that she have seen 10,000 francs in the house of this my child. So I called this my child, where is this money? All this money that has been missing. You are the one taking it now. She said that yes, she's the one taking it. So why have you kept the money? She said that she have given some to her friend in the school. I carry her on the bike to go and ask those her friends. Those her friends told me that since that she has been coming to school, they are seeing her eating money, but they don't know where the money is from. So she have never give them any money. I came back with this my child in the house. I said that you will show me where the money is found.
In the course of forcing out information from the girl, Yeto Pele reportedly beat her until she lost consciousness. She was rushed to a hospital in the locality where she was later declared dead by doctors 30 minutes upon arrival. Her father, who was responsible for the act, then called his pastor to resuscitate Blessing, but it was too late as the kid had given up the ghost.
I was just trying to intimidate her to know where the money is from. She told me that she would give me the money. She's having a pullover that she usually goes to school with it. She removed the pullover and removed 500 francs in the pullover and gave me. I said that if the 500 francs has come out, the remaining money is still with her. I tried to threaten her again. That is where she just fell down like this as if she has collapsed. I said that maybe she's not in good health. I took her to the hospital. The doctor examined her. She was still alive. So at some few hours later, as I went to call for a pastor to come and pray for her, maybe there's an evil spirit in her. When the pastor came, the pastor prayed for her. After 5 minutes time, 5 to 30 minutes time, the doctor came again and said that she's no more alive.
Yeto Pele, Blessing's father, is currently at the Gendarmerie Brigade in Fumbot under detention for the death of his own daughter.
Over in the Northwest region, the Divisional Office of Bamenda 2 Subdivision, Nicholas Kongo, has embarked on a campaign to fight urban disorder and insecurity. Accompanied by law enforcement officials, makeshift structures erected on sidewalks within Bamenda 2 Subdivision have been taken off, while residents urged to respect laws put in place by government while carrying out their economic activities. Northwest correspondent Charles Kewa reports.
Makeshift structures erected at sidewalks within Bamenda 2 subdivision causing urban disorder February 8, 2022 were sent off the streets to ensure a serene town where people can freely move. Bamenda 2 DO Nicholas Nkongo Machang, accompanied by forces of law and order to ensure people respect certain strict limits of doing their economic activities, sensitize the Bamenda 2 population via action.
The phase of sensitization, which after the sensitization, the population equally saw the need to accompany me in this process. I'm sure that's why you see there's a relative peace in the exercise.
DO Nicholas Nkongo's action, freeing the pedestrian sidewalks along the streets of Bamenda 2 and illegal parks, is also part of fighting insecurity, he said.
It's part of fighting insecurity because most of those clubs were used as hideouts or you provide explosive devices. Okay, some of those explosives which we happen to uncover, we found them in those anarchical clubs which are hanging everywhere along the street.
Putting order to business persons who now operate right to pedestrian walkway, the Bamenda 2 DO's administrative action was not only on business persons, also recently created parks within the Bamenda 2 subdivision, illegally operational and different from earmarked parks by the council.
People created parks left and right. So we have 32 parks which are known to everybody. So the population was disguised and go back to the 32 parks so that there will be relative order in town.
The administrator has emphasized for development to take place, there must be order, because with no order, we cannot achieve meaningful development.
The regional delegate of the Ministry of Fisheries and Animal Industry of the West Region has urged actors of the poultry sector not to panic as measures have been taken by government to end the outbreak of bird flu in that part of the country. This was disclosed during a crisis meeting in the West Region of Cameroon, as Joy Ngang tells us.
Following the Regional Decree number 003 of February 6, 2022, signed by the Governor of the West Region, our Fon Quinter, instituting measures for the prevention and control of avian influenza detected in a farm in the Mifi Division, the services of the West Regional Delegation of Minipia have taken measures to prevent the further spread of the H5N1 virus responsible for avian flu. To this effect, a closed-door meeting was held, chaired by the boss of Minipia West Delegation, to decide on the strategies for implementing the precautionary measures as proposed by the governor.
Il est donc question pour nous de rassurer l'ensemble des acteurs de la filière avicole.
We have to reassure all actors of the poultry sector that this crisis is not new, and immediately it is detected, there are technical measures to extinguish it. We also have to reassure the consumers of poultry products. The quality of poultry products in the market must remain high. Amidst the health crisis, the poultry products that will eventually be sent out to the market will be of good quality.
Vous, en tant que média, vous allez continuer à rassurer le consommateur que les produits avicoles qui seront sur le marché sont des produits sains.
The national president of Cameroon's Poultry Farmers Interprofession requests the support of the state as well as the involvement of the sector for any action that will be taken to curb the health crisis. We are expecting huge support from public authorities. They are already supporting us. We are just from a consultation meeting. It is part of the support. We now hope that we will equally be included in the management, that all measures that will be taken will be in consultation with the Poultry Interprofession of Cameroon, as it was the case this morning. Although all poultry farmers are called upon to strictly respect biosecurity measures, the health monitoring team of the West Regional Delegation of Minipia has been deployed to various farms to detect possible cases of avian influenza.
The creation of linguistic centers in Cameroon stands as one of the means to strengthen the practice of bilingualism in the country. Let's take a look at the linguistic center in the town of Ngaoundéré, at the Mawa region of Cameroon, with our reporter Catherine Ekongwe.
The government of Cameroon has taken measures to boost the practice of bilingualism in Cameroon. Among these measures are the institution of bilingual classes, creation of bilingual secondary schools, and linguistic centers across the national territory. Be it the Linguistic Center of Ngaoundéré or other regional centers, their main goal is to ensure a daily promotion of bilingualism in Cameroon. The Regional Linguistic Center of Ngaoundéré, created in 2015, is sensitizing the people on the essence of bilingualism in the field under the supervision of Sojo Amoa, who is the second director since its creation.
The Ngaoundéré Regional Linguistic Center is part of the network of the Bilingual Training Program. The Bilingual Training Program, which is a structure of the Presidency of the Republic. Our main goal, our objective is to train all Cameroonians to make them bilingual through the teaching of our two official languages, which are English and French. So the Ngaoundéré Regional Linguistic Center is open to everybody, even if you've never been to school. We have literacy courses that can help you to start reading and writing either in French or in English. So we are waiting for you.
Individuals from all walks of life and class constitute learners of this center who are expected in the course of their studies to become perfectly bilingual.
Those who come to learn English here, as you have noticed in our classroom, most of them are adults. And when we started 6 weeks ago on the 3rd of January. That is week 6 that we are completing. We are starting today. And we're going to end the term in March.
The rate of bilingualism in Cameroon is rapidly increasing from efforts put in by the government through these bilingualism centers and no longer regarded as a preoccupation of the minority group in the country.
The Bank of Central African States, BIAC, is expecting the sum of 32 billion from the government of Cameroon by the 11th of February this year. The information is contained in the dashboard of the operations for this trade zone, which comes along with other modalities, as Nolinga tells us.
A total debt of 32 billion francs CFA on the public securities market set up by the Bank of Central African States, BIAC, is to be settled by the Cameroonian Public Treasury come February 11, 2022. The information, which is revealed by the dashboard of operations in this market for the period of February 7th to 11th, also states that to repay these debts contracted respectively were the sums of 17 and 15 billion francs CFA were obtained some 13 and 26 weeks respectively earlier on from this market. Cameroon has carried out a new issue of treasury bonds for 26 weeks to be able to secure an envelope of 20 billion francs CFA intended for these reimbursements. In a bid, therefore, to be able in meeting up with the remaining 12 billion francs CFA, Cameroon is expected to deduct this amount from an 83 billion francs CFA sum the National Treasury was able to mobilize last week at the end of a domestic syndication program. In any case, Cameroon should have no problem meeting this new deadline for repaying its debt on the public securities market. According to sources from the Ministry of Finance, since 2011, when this market was launched, Cameroon has never been in default of payment. And at the end of December 2021, the country had already repaid around 3,000 billion francs CFA in debt to the BIAC market at maturity time.
The Minister of Basic Education, Professor Laurent Serge Etundi, has called on parents to contribute to the learning process of their children. He made the call in a message addressed to parents, teachers and pupils by commemorating activities marking the 20th edition of the National Day for the Promotion of Bilingualism. Kuma Honoré completes the story.
Parents, teachers and pupils of the basic education sector in the Southwest region came out together at the premises of Government Bilingual Primary School, Long Street, Boya, to launch activities to commemorate the 20th edition of the National Day for the Promotion of Bilingualism. Celebrating on the theme, Bilingualism, a catalyst for social cohesion in the context of decentralization, the day provided the opportunity to the basic education family in the Southwest region to commemorate national unity and integration through the use of English and French. The day equally provided a forum for Cameroonians to reaffirm their commitment and determination to safeguard the bicultural nature given to Cameroon as a nation. Speaking on behalf of the Regional Delegate for Primary Education, the Sub-Director, who doubles as the Regional Chief of Pedagogy, said, bilingualism is a tool for harmony, social cohesion, and peaceful coexistence, especially with the current dispensation of the socio-political crisis warranting the effective implementation of the decentralization process.
The government of Cameroon is struggling and is putting in place decentralization, and it has been doing that progressively. So these are the two government options. So we are seeing how bilingualism can come in to foster, to catalyze, to push ahead, to speed up this centralization process and at the same time ensuring social cohesion.
The event was characterized with messages from the Minister of Primary Education addressed to 3 different categories of persons, namely parents, teachers, and pupils. With the creation of new learning outlets such as televisions, radio, online and print, the Minister unctioned parents to increasingly contribute in reinforcing the achievements of their children in public exams. The Minister equally cited the importance of mastering the 2 languages in an emerging economy with a bicultural nature. The ceremony was interspersed with quiz, debates, sketches, poems, songs, ballads, and traditional dances. Aware of the aspiration and power of bilingualism in building a strong and emerging nation, the Ministry of Basic Education is committed to elaborating a national policy where the concept of bilingualism in schools is redefined in a multicultural context.
The Orange Foundation has awarded cash prizes to some women of local organizations and individuals in Cameroon to the tune of over 4 million francs CFA. The award ceremony that took place at Hilton Hotel in Yaoundé yesterday, February 8, 2022, was graced with the presence of Elizabeth Chwengwe, Executive Director, CSR Diversity Philanthropy Orange Foundation, and the Secretary General of Orange Foundation. Details with Center Regional Correspondent Colette.
In a unanimous spirit, Orange Foundation has been empowering women from all the regions in Cameroon. This is evident in the testimonials some of these women representatives gathered in Yaoundé at Hilton to showcase the values and achievements Orange Foundation has been impacting in their lives, with indelible marks planted on women in Cameroon in the presence of the 2 Elizabeth with positions of responsibility of Orange Foundation in the country and the diaspora. These women from the regions in Cameroon were awarded cash prizes. The Northwest region was equally represented.
So with the time for plenty, so the more important thing that we'll learn for this and a patient will get for way and get forget. And the family, they be very happy. And I want to the foundation always says that training we don't give you don't remain only for Orange. You don't go far.
The gifts accorded by Orange Foundation to these beneficiaries have gone a long way to food bills, sponsor kids to school from the treats they have indulged in from the support this foundation offered and is still offering. As gratitude, the joy is inexplicable.
The joy they have brought upon me today cannot be expressed. The Orange Foundation has realized my dream.
Orange Foundation, I know them through women empowerment for Bamenda. So they will give them the message, then give me through they send me the message all over. Then as they send, we talk say we get for go learn. So we go for them and learn like things them. Where you feel happy for house, if you feel happy you begin there, if you feel happy you play a house.
Hearing from the horse's mouth, women of Cameroon are blessed with Orange Foundation.
Orange Foundation is here to support such women through training, through small grants, and through coaching to enable them not only implement projects but also successfully implement. They receive funding to enable them implement their projects. We also, in addition to grants, we help those those women form groups, and commonly known as JAGI, saving and loan schemes, and we teach them management techniques to enable them to successfully run these saving and loan groups, so they can also make their own funding through the power of savings. Their own savings, implement, initiate income-generating activities, fund them, and successfully run them.
And more support from Orange Foundation is upcoming, as these beneficiaries promise to work so hard in generating more income and maximizing profits from cash awarded.
To Health, our reporter Bokengo Wadi dwells on Raynaud's phenomenon, which is a short-term interruption of blood flow to extremities such as fingers and toes. To this effect, the month of February is termed Raynaud's Awareness Month to sensitize the public on the causes and ways to prevent it. Our report.
Raynaud's disease or Raynaud's phenomenon is a health condition characterized by coldness and numbness in some areas of the body, usually the fingers, toes, ears, and tip of the nose, triggered by cold temperatures, stress, fatigue, and caused by low supply of blood by the small arteries to the skin, smoking, certain medications, and many more. The disease possesses symptoms such as pale skin, numbness in hands and toes, cold sensitivity, stinging pain, change in skin color, complexion, amongst others. It is worth mentioning that Raynaud's disease, according to health experts, is more prevalent in women than men and bears risk factors such as family history, age, climate, certain occupation, exposure to harmful chemicals like vinyl chloride, associated diseases such as lupus, scleroderma, plaque built up in the blood. It should be borne in mind that Raynaud's disease, if left untreated, can grow from mild to severe, causing tissue damage, which can lead to a blocked artery, burning skin, sores, and ulcers, which can be difficult to treat over time. And in some rare cases, the affected area will need to be removed from the body. To this regard, the month of February is set aside to raise awareness regarding the disease and encourage individuals as well as sufferers to help reduce the spread by means of keeping warm, managing triggers such as smoking, extreme cold, side effects from medication, and making frequent visits to the doctor a priority.
Bokengo were the reports in the news out of the country. Staff lady Nora Kakebi made a brief stop in Madagascar, South Africa, and Guinea-Bissau. She brought back the following.
In touring the African continent, our first stop is in Guinea-Bissau, where an independent radio station was raided by armed men recently. According to the Committee to Project Journalists, 4 armed men wearing military outfits, accompanied by others in civilian clothing, besieged the radio after it aired a call-in show about the failed coup in the country. The staff members on the premises were able to flee, although several sustained injuries, escaping over the 2-meter-high wall surrounding the building. Following media reports, the station's offices were vandalized, and the station's administrative assistant, Bingati Martins, said the attackers forced him to lie on the floor, fired gunshots near his feet, and was beaten on the back with rifles. It should be noted that the radio station, which is always critical of Embalo and his government, was also attacked in July 2020. The attack was carried out by men wearing uniforms of Guinea-Bissau's National Guard. And in Madagascar, more than 2,000 people have been declared dead and thousands rendered homeless after a tropical storm struck the country recently. This is the second tropical storm to hit the island nation in less than 2 weeks. The cyclone's powerful winds and torrential rains flooded roads and farmlands, ripped roofs from homes and buildings, and brought down trees as well as utility poles. The hardest hit areas were on the eastern side of the country, though the full scope of the damage is still being assessed. Madagascar's National Office for Risk and Disaster Management confirmed that more than 94,000 persons have been affected by the tropical storm. The cyclone flooded over 7,000 homes, with hundreds of schools affected, leaving an estimated 9,271 children out of school. Meanwhile, in South Africa, poaching of rhinos has resumed, with a total number of 451 animals killed in 2021, according to the South African Department of the Environment. Out of the 451 animals, 327 had been killed in nationwide parks and authorities' reserves and over 124 in private sport reserves. The nation serves as home to almost 80% of the world's rhinos. They are hunted to fulfill the excessive demand for their horns in Asia for conventional drugs and aphrodisiacs. National parks in South Africa, as well as private reserves, work collectively to guard their white and black rhinos to discourage poachers.
And it was an eventful day in the town of Garwa, North region of Cameroon, where officials of mobile telephony company Orange Cameroon handed the 9th car to the winner of its tombola, Adamu Heman. Get full details in the following advertorial from Orange Cameroon.
Nsah de Orange Cameroun 400 francs nous a de crédit de gagner télé. Ça va donner.
C'est pour moi un grand honneur de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à cette cérémonie de remise du véhicule issu de la tombola et nos fiers. Par ma voix, la direction régionale d'Orange Cameroun pour le Nord vous souhaite la bienvenue à cette cérémonie et j'espère qu'elle sera belle.
Merci infiniment. Orange. Je ne m'attendais pas, c'est vraiment une immense joie.
Bon, je suis fier, la joie veut me tuer maintenant. Je ne sais pas quoi dire. C'est la joie pour moi. Je suis très heureux. Et ça, c'est la fidélité pour moi.
Je vous assure, tout à l'heure, même lorsque j'étais ici au Sénagès de Garoua, je ne croyais pas, mais j'ai ma télévision entre les mains.
Orange est une entreprise citoyenne qui œuvre aux côtés des pouvoirs publics, déjà pour la satisfaction des besoins des populations en termes de communication. Pour le nom du préfet du département de la Benoué, nous voulons vous inviter, n'est-ce pas, présent du représentant personnel d'Orange Cameroun ici, d'en faire bon usage.
La joie, c'est la joie de... Ça doit être que la joie d'un heureux gagnant. Je suis très content. Je suis content que ce soit mon épouse qui a gagné à ce jeu. C'est un jeu qui n'est pas un jeu de hasard. C'est-à-dire on gagne pour sa propre consommation et puis on gagne pour la deuxième fois, comme l'a si bien dit le bonus king. Ça fait 22 ans que nous consommons Orange et je crois que c'est normal que nous soyons, que je dois rouler aujourd'hui carrosse.
Pour gagner, c'est très simple. Il suffit de souscrire aux offres, au forfait Kings and Queens de la Cannes Total Énergie en souscrivant au dièse 195 étoile 30 dièse. Par cela, vous pouvez gagner différents lots. Il y a 15 voitures Toyota. Vous avez également la possibilité de gagner 500 Smart TV. Et vous pouvez également avoir la chance de gagner 5000 francs toutes les 5 minutes.
That advertorial from Orange Cameroon ends today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime Television. Coming up just after the news is Prime Hour with Leonard and his team. My name is Fon Quinter. I meet again tomorrow for another edition of news on My Media Prime Television. Good night.